Hi, I'm Christopher, a research software engineer with Research Software Workshops, and it's a very warm welcome to Introducing Version Control with Git, Part 9. The link to the notes is at the bottom of this page, and we're now on the Renaming and Removing Files section, which if you click on that, should bring you to a page that looks something like this. Okay, we're now within our version dir. If we do git status, we should see we're on the working tree is clean, and we have readme.md and something.md in here. Okay, so far we've only added and changed files in our version controlled working directory, and Git was clever enough to work out what it needed to do. However, Git does not know how to automatically work out when you've renamed or removed files, so there are a couple of commands we need to use if we want to do that. So for renaming files, what we have to use is the Git Mv command. Mv is short for move, and move and rename are basically the same thing. So if we want to rename something.md to background.md, then we use Git Mv, so git move, something.md to background.md. If we hit return now, we should see with an ls that now something.md has been moved to or renamed as background.md. We do git status, always my favourite command. We can see that Git now knows that we've renamed the file, and if we commit this change, shows that, yep, we're renaming something.md to background.md, and we can say, little commit message, have renamed something.md to background.md to better reflect the contents of the file. And we'll then save that commit message. Git status again. And there we are, the working tree is clean. Okay, I'm going to Control L to clean this window. And now how about removing files? So to remove a file, we use Git Rm. Rm is short for remove. So if I do Git Rm background.md to now remove this file, and then if we do return, if I do ls, you can see the file has disappeared. Git status will show, yep, it's been deleted. Now, it may be that you don't want to have deleted the file. Maybe this was by accident. And again, we can bring the file back again by using the command we had before, git checkout main, and then the file we want to restore, background.md. And there we are, we've brought the file back again. If I did want to remove it completely, I would have git committed that change. And this is really the power of version control. It's actually really difficult to actually lose files or accidentally delete data. As long as you've saved a snapshot version in the repository, you can always restore it. Indeed, let's imagine I had another file. So for example, let's create a new file called notinrepo.md. So this is a file that we won't track. Git won't actually let me remove this file. So this is a none-tracked file, as we can see with get status. If I do git remove this file, not in repo, like that, Git will actually say, this isn't in here, I can't remove it because it doesn't actually match. I can force remove it by doing rm-f, and it will still not want to remove the file. And I have to remove this using a normal command. Now if I'd made a change to background, so let's say for example here is a change, and this change is not committed, so this is a change that exists only in the local directory. If I do git remove background.md, you'll actually see here it refuses to do that because this change has not yet been committed. Git really doesn't want you to lose any data. If you really want to remove it, you have to use the git rm-f, and that would then remove the file even though there's basically uncommitted data in there, and indeed now we have lost that data, that little change that we made. Now if I committed, I'd have committed this version without the file, but again I want to bring it back, so I'll do git checkout main background.md to restore the file. Git status should show, there we are, the working tree is clean. So we've now worked all the way through renaming files and removing files, and indeed we now have two more commands for our Git cheat sheet. Git Mv for moving or renaming files, and Git Rm for removing files. So here we are, 9 commands now. Git init, start version controlling a directory. Git status, show the status of the files within the directory. git add, start tracking a new file, git commit -a, save a snapshot version of all the tracked files in the directory, git diff, show the difference between the files in the working directory and the last saved version in the repository, git checkout, that's how we bring files from the past back to the present, or how we move the entire working directory back to a past state so we can see what it looked like in the past. Git log, show the log of all of the versions which have been saved in the repository, and then now our two new ones, git move, from the old name to the new name, and git rm removes the file that we've specified, and you may need to use -f to force removal of files which have been changed. Okay, so with that we've now got the exercise. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to create a new file called notes.md, put some text into it, and then add it and commit it to the repository. Then I'd like you to move the file using Git Mv and rename it from notes.md to more notes.md, and then commit that change to the repository. Then I would like you to use Git Rm to remove more notes and commit that change to the repository. And then if you use git checkout version file name to check out an old version of notes.md to the working directory, and then commit that change to the repository. Again, press pause, and when you come back from pause, I'll work through this exercise for you. Okay, you've now unpaused, so I'm now going to have a go at this exercise. So, first thing to do is let's create notes.md. So here are some notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some notes, whatever that file may be. Git status shows that's a new file. We have to add it so that we can track it. You can now see that we now need to commit this, so we do git commit -a, added some notes. Okay, now the next thing I need to do, let's Control L clean the screen, is I've got to rename it from notes.md to more notes.md. So we use Git Mv to move it or rename it. I'm going to rename it from notes.md to more notes.md. Git status again, there we are, it shows that it's been renamed. We can see there it's now more notes.md, and I will commit this change. There we are, working tree is clean. This version now has more notes.md. Okay, the next thing is to use Git Rm to remove this file. So let's now remove more notes.md. There we are, it has been deleted, it's gone, and we will now commit this change. Do git status, there we are, the working tree is clean. Now finally we need to basically check out that old version of notes.md because maybe we didn't really mean to delete it, even though we have committed a version without the notes. So yeah, let's use Git Log. Notice this is the Git Log now where I'm scrolling up and down with the up and down arrow keys, so I will need to use Q to exit from here. Now I renamed more notes here, I removed it in this version, so if I want to bring notes.md back, this is the file which had notes.md before I renamed it, so this is the version I want. So let's copy this, remember your version number will be different, Q to exit, and then I can go git checkout from that version number notes.md, and there we are, I've now got notes.md back as it was, and in this case I am going to now commit this to the repo, to the repository. Restored notes.md. Git status, everything is clean and we've got the file back. Voila. Okay, that's the end of this section. I look forward to seeing you in the next section where we're going to actually be looking at GitHub.